How a devotee can become an instrument in the hands of the Lord is guided by these today's shlokas. So all of you can recite the prayers before we start the session. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare So today we'll start with 31st verse, which is Arjuna's question to Lord Krishna. So after seeing that universal form followed by the Kala Rupa, Arjuna became bewildered and he puts forward this question, trying to understand the mission of the Lord. He says, all of you can recite the verse, Akya hime ko bhavan ugra rupo
Akya hime ko bhavan ugra rupo
Namostute deva vara prasida
Namostute deva vara prasida
Vijnatum ichchami bhavantamadhyam
Vijnatum ichchami bhavantamadhyam
Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim
Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim
Akya hime ko bhavan ugra rupo
Akya hime ko bhavan ugra rupo
Namostute deva vara prasida
Namostute deva vara prasida
Vijnatum ichchami bhavantamadhyam
Vijnatum ichchami bhavantamadhyam
Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim
Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim.
So here Arjuna is saying, Akya hime, I want to understand, please explain to me. Bhavan ugra rupaha. Kaha bhavan ugra rupaha. Why did you accept this fearful form? Namostute, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Deva varaha, the great one among the demigods. Prasidaha, be gracious upon me, be satisfied upon me. Vijnatum ichchami, just I wanted to know, Bhavantam Adyam, you are the original. Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. Nahi prajanami, certainly I do not know. Tava pravrittim, your mission. So therefore he says, O Lord of the Lords, that is Deva Varaha, so fierce of form, Ugra Rupaha, please tell me who you are. Akyahime ko bhavan. I offer my obeisances unto you. Namostute, and please be gracious to me. Prasidaha, I do not know what your mission is. Nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. I desire to hear of it. Vijnatum ichchami bhavantamadhyam. So this is what the shloka and the translation is. So Prabhupada explains the mission of the Lord at various places. The mission of Lord Krishna is to protect the righteous and kill the demons who disturb a peaceful situation and to re-establish the principles of religion. This is based on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, shloka number 8, where Krishna says, I am paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkrutam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For 3 purposes, I take birth in this material world. But the primary mission is explained in Bhagavatam by Kunti Maharani. She says, you have appeared in order to regenerate the devotional service of hearing. Shrunvanti gayanti grinanti abhikshnasaha smaranti nandanti tavehitam janaha tayeva pashyanti acharena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambuja. By accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, devotees by Shrunvanti, by hearing, Gayanti, Grinanti, by remembering, by worshipping. In that way, the devotees can cross over these material pangs and take advantage and gain liberation by the process of devotional service, which is regenerated, for which purpose the Lord has appeared in this material world. Similarly, in one more purport, it is explained, the mission of Lord Krishna was performed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. For by the Lord's mercy, Arjuna was victorious due to being a great devotee, whereas the others were killed simply by the Lord's glance, which cleansed them of all sinful activities and enabled to attain Sarupya. So different people have got different outputs there. So according to the understanding of their capacity about Lord Krishna, they received a specific result. But the mission of the Lord was performed by Arjuna, and he took that credit, although it was the intention of the Lord. So next verse, all of you can recite. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Kalosmi lokakshay vishyanti sarve. Ye avasthita pratyanikeshu yodaha.
ये अवस्थिता प्रत्यानिकेषु योधाः
Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravruddho. Lokan samahartum iha pravruttaha. Rute pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve. Ye avasthita pratyanikeshu yodaha. So as Arjuna had questioned, the Lord responded. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Lord said, Kalosmi, time I am. Lokakshayakrut, I am the destroyer of the worlds. Lokakshaya. Pravruttaha, to engage. Lokan samahartam iha pravruttaha. The Lokan samahartam, all the people, to engage all the people and to destroy everyone in this world. Rute pitvam, except you 5 Pandava brothers. Na bhavishyanti sarve, none of them will survive. Ye avasthitaha pratyanikeshu yodaha, even the soldiers from the opposite sides also, everyone will be destroyed. I am engaging one to wind up the others. So similarly, thus the blessed Lord said, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, time I am, Kalosmi, destroyer of the worlds, Lokakshayakrit. And I have come to engage all people. Lokan samahartam iha pravruttaha. With the exception of you, Pandavas, Rute pitvam, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Na bhavishyanti sarve, ye avasthita pratyanikeshu yodaha. Pratya anikeshu means your soldiers and the soldiers from the opposite camp. Everyone will be killed except for you 5 brothers. So what is the significance of Lord's form described in this verse? So this form of the Supreme Lord is an all-devouring giant. And here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time. That Kala Rupa, Krishna is saying, I am that time which is going to destroy everything. So Arjuna wanted to avoid fighting and save his relatives from death. So this is the perspective. Please understand. The whole incident is Arjuna doesn't want to fight. He wanted to protect his grandfather and his guru. Now, what is Krishna's intention? So how Lord is contracting this? Arjuna was not in favor of the fight and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. So Lord is saying, even if he is not fighting, every one of them would be destroyed. For that is his plan. See that word in the previous verse. The mission of the Lord, pravrittim, tava pravrittim. The specific purpose, the specific mission of the Lord is clearly explained in these three verses, 32, 33, 34. So he's saying, even if he stopped fighting, they would die in another way. So death cannot be checked, even if he had not fought. So time is destruction and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. So everything which has taken birth has to be destroyed. That is the purpose of this material world. Nobody can change the will of the Lord. So in one morning walk, Prabhupada says, the process is going on. Although we may have got so many plans to save, nobody can be saved. The destination, bhutva praliyate, that will go on. Simply, vitaraga bayakrodaha, manmayama upashritaha. Only they will be saved. Manmayama upashritaha. Means those who have taken shelter of the Lord, only they will be saved. Otherwise, everyone will be finished. Therefore, get up and prepare to fight. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. O Savyasachi can be an instrument in the fight. So this is very important verse, that by kala, by time, due to course of time, everything will be destroyed. Our duty is uttishtaha. Dr. Patel, fall in line with his wish. Prabhupada, yes. He wishes sarvadharman parityatya, manmana bhava madbhaktaha. So this is our duty. Not that I have got that duty, that duty will not save you. That will be destroyed. So similarly, our primary duty is fall in line with the wish of the Lord. So in Bhagavatam, there is a verse which says, Prabhavam paurusham prahuhu kalam eko yato bhayam ahankara vimudasya kartu prakritim iyushuha. So kalam eke yato bhayam. The kala factor, which is prabhavam purusham prahuhu, which is the influence of the Supreme Lord, paurusham, prabhavam, the influence of the Lord, is said as kalam eke yato bhayam, in the kala factor, which causes fear of death, bhayam. Ahankara vimudasya, those out of false ego, deluded soul, kartu prakritam iyushaha, who has contacted material nature. See, the influence of the Supreme Lord is felt in the time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul who has contacted material nature. Out of ahankara, vimudasya, he has become foolish. But everything is performed by the time factor, which destroys everything. That is the point that is being communicated. So one more place, like it is said, throughout Gita, Krishna gives many arguments why Arjuna should fight. And he especially assures Arjuna that he and all the others in the battle are eternal spirit souls who cannot actually be killed. In his universal form, however, the Lord tells Arjuna that even if he refused to fight, the material bodies of all the warriors would nevertheless be destroyed. For that was the plan of the Lord. If Arjuna would refuse to fight, they would die in another way. Their death could not be checked. Thus, Krishna explained to Arjuna the mission of the universal form. So, in the question, this is the answer. This is the way how Krishna, why did he show that universal form? topic in Garuda Purana. How the living entity quits his body and what kind of body he receives in the next life based upon what kind of sin he has performed, and for which sin, which is the punishment. That entire descriptions are there. So that the living entity becomes scary, he becomes aware so that he doesn't commit sin, so that he becomes a righteous person. That is the perspective. But for us to understand how a living entity will be dragged from his body and how he'll be suffering in this hellish planets, so that he becomes aware that there are people who are judging him, and based on his activities, his receivement of karma is destined. So that is the principle there. So the next verse, all of you can recite. Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labasva.
Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labasva.
Jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham.
Rajyam samruddham.
Rahasyam samruddham.
Mayevaite nihitah purvameva.
Mayaivete
purvam eva.
Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin.
Nimittamatram
bhavasavya sachin.
Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labasva.
Tasmatvam
uttishtayo labasva.
Jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham.
Jitva satrun
bhukshva rajasyam samruddham.
Mayevaite nihatah purvameva.
Mayaivete
Nihita purvam eva.
Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin.
Nimittamatram bhavasavya sachin.
So here Krishna is saying, Tasmat tvam, therefore, tvam, you, uttishta, rise and fight. Yasho labasva, you take the credit. Yashaha, you take the name. Jitva shatrun, conquer the enemies. Bhungshva rajyam, samruddham, enjoy this kingdom completely. Mayaivaite nihatah purvameva. As I have already done, I have already put all these people, nihatah purvameva, I'll already explained. They have already been put into death by my arrangement. Mayaivaite nihatah purvameva. As explained, I have already previously as explained, I have already put them to death. Nimitta matram, you are just an instrument. Bhavasavya sachin, in my hands. Please become an instrument in my hands. And Savya sachin, you are a most expert warrior. So you'll be able to take credit. So therefore he says, therefore get up, uttishtaha, and prepare to fight. And conquering your enemies, jitva shatrun, and you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. Bhukshva rajyam samruddham. They are already put to death by my arrangement. Maye vaite nihitah purvameva. And you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Nimitta matram bhavaha. So what is the understanding of the foolish person about the material world? They think the whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Lord. Foolish persons do not have sufficient knowledge to think that nature is moving without a plan and all manifestations are but accidental formations. The whole world is actually moving as per the plan of the Lord, but foolish person thinks everything is happening accidentally. And here Arjuna is addressed as Savyasachi. So what is so special in this word Savyasachi? Means one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. He is an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows with both hands to kill his enemies. And he is also called as ambidextrous. Ambidextrous means basically the same word, who is expert in using both arms. Like left hand and right hand, both are he is capable of. So what is the specific plan of the Lord carried out in this material world? The cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to revive their consciousness for going back home, back to Godhead. As long as they have this domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over the material nature, they are conditioned. Ahankara vimudatma. Kartaham itumanyita. This is what their mentality is. They think they are doing, but actually they are under the control of the nature. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of these cosmic manifestations are under the superior guidance of God. So, like in the 9th chapter, it is said, the Prakriti, it creates and destroys, but Prakriti is under the control of the Lord. 9.10, that is already explained there. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of Lord. If one is in Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to his transcendental service, then he is a perfect, intelligent person. So, in one purport, Prabhupada explains, that is the beauty of the Lord's dealing with his devotees. Sometimes the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. For instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna fought simply by giving directions. Yet it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Oh Arjuna, you can be but an instrument in the fight. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to Arjuna. Similarly, in the Krishna conscious movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya, but the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere servants. Arjuna, the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra, the relationship of the Lord with his devotees is a very happy one. Actually, the Lord descended at the request of Brahma in order to kill all the undesirables of the world. But to divide the share of glory, he sometimes engaged his devotees to take the credit. The battle of Kurukshetra was designed by the Lord himself just to give credit to his devotee Arjuna. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. He played the part of the charioteer while Arjuna was given the chance to play the fighter and thus become the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra. What he wants to do himself by his transcendental plans, he executes through his confidential devotees. That is the way of the Lord's mercy towards his pure, unalloyed devotees. So in one morning walk, Prabhupada says, how Krishna is setting example. Krishna is saying that I have already arranged the result of this fighting. Everyone will be killed. Nimitta matram. But still he is inducing Arjuna to work. Not that he is already, I am your friend Krishna, everything will be done. So, but you have to work. Gupta, maybe a friend or not. Prabhupada, this is philosophy. Not that because I am friend, I will do and you will sleep and get dysentery. No. You have to work. Everything is already arranged, but you must work. That is wanted. Otherwise, why Arjuna was induced to fight? Krishna has already arranged. And Arjuna also says, yes, karishya vachanam tava. Whatever you say, I will act. So this is Krishna consciousness. In some other lectures also Prabhupada says, oh, Krishna is in control. And because the whole world is a problem for ordinary persons, but it is not a problem because we see Krishna, we see everything as Krishna's. If there is problem, it is Krishna's problem. Why it is my problem? Krishna will know how to solve the problem. So we have no problems. They are all Krishna's problems. Krishna will see it. Just like Arjuna was encouraged, nimitta matram, don't worry about your victory. I have already arranged it. So we should have faith and conviction and try to work very sincerely and seriously. Then Krishna will do everything. So next, one more place also. So here is another list of fighters. But the real purpose of this battlefield is to bring all the fighters, big fighters of the world together. And under Krishna's guidance, they would be all killed. When Arjuna was declining to fight, Krishna ultimately said, my dear Arjuna, you fight or not fight, it doesn't matter. These people are not going back home. It is already settled up. You simply take the credit. You have fought and killed. They're already killed because that is my plan. Nimitta matram. They're already killed. So the same point has been enumerated at various places. So next, all of you can recite. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratam cha. Karnam tatanyam apiyoda virahan.
Karnam tatanyam apiyoda virahan.
Maya hatam stvam jahima vyatishta.
Maya hatam stvam jahima vyatishta.
Yuddhashva jetasi rane sapatnan. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratam cha.
Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratam cha.
Karnam tatanyan apiyoda viran. Maya hatam stvam jahima vyatishta.
Maya hatam stvam jahima vyatishta.
Yuddhasva jetasi rane sapatnan.
Yudhyasva jeta sarene
Sarene
samsa.
So here Krishna is saying Dronam cha, Bhishmam cha, Jayadratam cha, Karna tata anyan apiyoda viran. All the other warriors also, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadrata, Karna, and all other warriors whom you might have think. Maya hatam stvam. So Maya hatam, so I have already killed them. Tvam jahima vyattista. And you become victorious, Jahima, Vyattista, and be situated. Do not become disturbed. Yuddhasva jetasi, by winning the fight, Rane sapatnan, by eliminating all your enemies, you are fixed in the system of victory. So the Lord is saying, all the great warriors, Dronam cha, Bhishmam cha, Jayadratam cha, Karnam, Tata Anyan, Apiyoda Viran, all the great warriors, all what he is saying is that Maya Hatams, they are already destroyed. Tvam Jahima Vyattista, simply you fight, Yuddhasva Jetasi Ranay Sapatnan, and you will vanquish your enemies. So everything is already done, you fight. See, the principle, why did Krishna show or explain this specific perspective? These names, whatever he was mentioning, Arjuna was in a family relationship with all these people, and he was thinking, I should not kill them, I should spare them. But Krishna is saying, no. The future of the war, I have already decided. All these people, even if you don't want to fight, none of them are going back home. I have already taken away their life. Now you have to do. Theoretically, I have done. Now practically, you have to do. So what is the Lord's mercy and kindness upon his devotees? Every plan is made by the Supreme Lord, but he is so kind and merciful that he wants to give credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Then how can we know about the Lord's plan? Everything should act in Krishna consciousness, everyone, and understand the Supreme Lord through the medium of the spiritual master. So acting as per the guidance of the Guru, then the plans of the Supreme Lord are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as the plans of the Lord. So as taking, when we take guidance from the spiritual master who is in the parampara system, it is as good as we are trying to execute the mission of Krishna. So one should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. So Lord, this is a prayer offered by Bhishma Deva in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now, when he was on the deathbed in the Bhagavatam, he says, Sapadi Saki Vacho Nishamya Madhye Nija Parayor Balayo Ratam Niveshya Stitavati Parashainikayur Akshna Ratavati Parda Sake Ratir Mamastu. So Bhishma Deva is meditating upon the Lord's causeless mercy and affection on his pure devotees. He is saying, Saki Vacho Nishamya, on the command of his friend, Saki Vachaha, Nishamya, on the obedience. Sapadi Ratam Niveshya Madhye, the Lord Krishna entered the arena of battlefield. Madhye, between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana, Nija Parayor Balayaha. Then Stitavati Hrutavati, while he shortened the lifespans of opposite party. Parasainika Ayuhu. How? Akshnaha, by his merciful glance. He saw everybody on the battlefield and he took away all their lifespan. This was done simply by looking at the enemy. So let me fix my mind upon that Krishna. Partha Sake Ratir Mamastu. See how simple. Bhishma Deva himself is glorifying how Lord killed everybody on the battlefield simply by his glance. So in one lecture, Prabhupada says, so that is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna was talking with Krishna in the beginning, he was trying to serve his senses. My dear Krishna, if I kill my relatives, I will become entangled in this way of sinful reaction. I will go to hell. If I kill my grandfather, the other side, Dronacharya or my guru, no. In this way, he concluded, no, I shall not fight. This kind of service is to satisfy Arjuna's own senses. He thought by killing the other party, I will not be satisfied. I will be very much sorry. That means serving my own senses. And Krishna was also giving him instruction. You are a Kshatriya and it is your duty. There is no consideration of your relatives or grandfather or your Acharya. When there is an opponent, you must fight. In this way, they were talking. The talking was that Krishna wanted to satisfy his senses and Arjuna wanted to satisfy his senses. Talking, but Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is Ishvara. His senses should be satisfied. Then it is service. That is the whole subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Because Arjuna denied to serve Krishna, Krishna wanted this Kurukshetra war is arranged by me. You are simply an instrument, nimitta matram. Even if you do not fight, all these bodies who have assembled here, they are not going back living. They will be killed. Now, if you like, you have to fight, but the conclusion is already there.
Namaste to all of you. Today I am going to tell you about an incident happened during ancient times which mentions about time travel. Wikipedia describes time travel is the concept of movement between certain points in time analogous to movement between different points in space. Albert Einstein, for example, concluded in his later years that the past, present and future all exist simultaneously, and most of us are familiar with his well-known concept of relativity. That is, that time is relative and not absolute as Newton claimed. With the proper technology, such as a very fast spaceship, one person is able to experience several days while another person simultaneously experiences only a few hours or minutes. Now I will tell you legend of Kakudmi. In the mid-Satya Yuga, there lived a king of the Solar dynasty by name Kakudmi and his beautiful daughter Revati. Kakudmi was of pure character and a benevolent ruler. He had a very beautiful daughter named Revati, endowed with all auspicious qualities. Kakudmi's daughter Revati was so beautiful and so accomplished that when she reached a marriageable age, Kakudmi, thinking no one upon earth was worthy of her, he went to the Creator himself, Lord Brahma, to seek his advice about a suitable husband for his daughter. Although considered human, Kakudmi seemed to have been endowed with mystic powers not found in ordinary humans today. Kakudmi was able to take his daughter Revati with him and travel to Brahmaloka and to speak with Brahma at will. When they arrived to Brahmaloka, Lord Brahma was listening to a musical performance by the Gandharvas. So they waited patiently for some time until the performance was finished. Then Kakudmi bowed humbly, made his request and presented his short list of candidates for his son-in-law. Brahma laughed loudly and explained that time runs differently on different planes of existence, and that during the short time they had waited in Brahmaloka to see him, 27 Chaturyugas had passed on earth. Brahma said to Kakudmi, O king, all those whom you may have decided within the core of your heart to accept as your son-in-law have died in the course of time. 27 Chaturyugas have already passed. Those upon whom you may have already decided are now gone, and so are their sons, grandsons and other descendants. You cannot even hear about their names. You must therefore bestow this virgin gem, that is Revati, upon some other husband. For you now alone, and your friends, your ministers, servants, wives, kinsmen, armies, and treasures have long since been swept away by the hands of time. King Kakudmi was overcome with astonishment and alarm at hearing this news. However, Brahma comforted him and added that Vishnu, the preserver, was currently incarnated on earth in the forms of Balarama and Krishna, and he recommended Balarama as a worthy husband for Revati. Kakudmi and Revati became happy, then returned to earth, which they regarded as having left only just a short while ago. They were shocked by the changes that had taken place. Not only had the landscape and environment changed, but over the intervening 27 Chaturyugas in the cycles of human spiritual and cultural evolution, mankind was at a lower level of development than in their own time. The Bhagavad Purana describes that they found the race of men had become dwindled in stature, reduced in vigor, and enfeebled in intellect. Daughter and father found Balarama and proposed the marriage, which was accepted.
So this is the intention of so how the various perspectives, Vedic perspectives, are intertwined. It is very difficult for us to understand. Some stories and relatives from Bhagavatam for us to clearly understand how different time periods and different things have worked there. So next, now Sanjaya is coming back after Arjuna. Krishna had mentioned his mission. So what next? What did Arjuna do? All of you can decide. Sanjaya vacha.
Sanjaya vacha.
Etat shrutva vachanam kesavasya.
Krutvam vachanam keshavasya.
Kritanjali rvepamana kiriti. Namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam.
Krishnam.
Sagadgadam bita bita pranamya.
Sagadgadam bita bita pranamya.
Once again, Sanjaya vacha.
Sanjaya vacha.
Etak shrutva vachanam keshavasya.
Krutvam vachanam keshavasya.
Kritanjali rvepamana kiriti.
Kritanjalirvepamana kirti.
Namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam.
Namaskritva bhuya evana krishnam.
Sagadgadam bita bita pranamya.
Sagadgadam bita bita pranamya.
So Sanjaya vacha. Sanjaya is again explaining the situation between Krishna and Arjuna. Etat shrutva vachanam keshavasya. After hearing the words spoken by Lord Keshava, Kritanjalihi, with folded hands, Vepamana Kiriti. Arjuna, he is known as Kiriti, Vepamanaha. He is trembling in fear. Namaskritva, offering obeisances, Bhuya eva aha Krishnam. He again spoke to Krishna. Sa Gadgadam, whose voice was faltering. Bita Bitaha, who was trembling in fear. Pranamya, by offering his respects. So Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Etar Shrutva Keshavasya, Arjuna trembled, Bita Bitaha, fearfully offered obeisances, Kritanjali, Pranamya, then with folded hands, and began to falteringly to speak as follows. Sagadgadam Bhuya eva aha Krishnam. So what is the mood in which Arjuna is offering prayers? So Arjuna became bewildered in wonder, and thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again, and with faltering voice he began to pray not as a friend but as a devotee in wonder. So Prabhupada says, so without seeing Vishwarupa, simply by abiding by the orders of Krishna, if we act, then there is no question of trembling. Dr. Patel, so we must not try to see the Vishwarupa to tremble. Prabhupada, yes. Because when we see that huge form, when you see that what is going to happen, people become very fearful of the situation, outcome of the situation. So Prabhupada is saying, simply accept Krishna's instruction. You will not be able to become fearful or tremble of the situations, outcome of the situations. Okay, next verse. All of you can recite. Arjuna vacha. Sthane Hrishikesha tava prakirtya. Jagat praharshayati anurajyate cha.
Jagat praharshayati cha.
Rakshamshi bitani disho dravanti.
Rakshamsi bitani disho dravanti.
Sarve namashyanti cha saddha sangaha.
Sarve namasyanti cha siddha siddha.
Arjuna vacha.
Arjuna vacha.
Sthane Hrishikesha tava prakritya.
Ane Hrishikesha tava prakritya.
Jagat prahashyati anurajyate cha.
Jagat prahashyati anurajyate cha.
Rakshamsi bitani disho dravanti.
Rakshamsi bitani disho dravanti.
Sarve namashyanti cha siddha sangha.
Sarve namasyanti
Sangha.
So here, Stane Hrishikesha Tava Prakritya. So Hrishikesha, oh my dear Lord, Krishna, Trava Prakirtya, your glories, Stane, by hearing, by understanding, by seeing, Jagat Praharshyati, the whole world is enjoying, they are joyful. Anurajyatecha, and they have become affection, attached to the glories. Rakshamshi Vitani Disho Dravanti. So living entities in fear of you are running everywhere. Disho Dravanti, everywhere, all directions they are running. Then Sarve Namashyanti cha Siddha Sangha. All the perfected personalities, they are offering their respectful obeisances unto you. O Hrishikesha, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name. Tava Prakirtya Jagat Praharshyati. And everyone becomes attached to you. Anurajyatecha. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, Sarve Namashyanti cha Siddha Sangha. The demons are afraid and they flee here and there. Rakshamshi Vitani Disho Dravanti. All this is rightly done. Stane. So what was Arjuna's understanding after hearing the outcome of the battle? So Arjuna, after hearing about outcome of battle, he became an enlightened devotee. So everything he admitted done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and object of worship and the destroyer of undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Then how to understand Lord's actions are good for all? When Arjuna saw the universal form, the demigods took pleasure in it, but demons and atheists could not stand it because when the Lord was praised, they are envious of the Lord. That's why when somebody is praised, their competitor is praised, they will not be happy. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form, they all fled everywhere. So Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, devotee glorifies the Lord because he knew that whatever he does is good for all. Like in one letter to Professor Stahl, Prabhupada writes, Vedanta Sutra states, Anavrittihi Shabda. By sound vibration, one becomes liberated. By devotional service, by understanding well the Supreme Lord, one can go to his abode and never come back again to this material condition. So how it is possible? The answer is simply by chanting his name constantly. So this is accepted by the exemplary disciple Arjuna, who has perfectly learned the conclusion of spiritual science from the Yogeshwara, the master of mystic knowledge, Krishna. Recognizing Krishna to be the supreme Brahman, Arjuna addressed him, Stane Hrishikesha. The world becomes joyful upon hearing your name and thus do all become attached to you. The process of chanting is authorized by as the direct means of contacting the supreme absolute truth. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, the soul is attracted by the supreme person Krishna to go back home, back to God. See the simple principle. By chanting the holy name, by hearing about the holy name, one becomes attached, anurajyatecha. And everybody becomes joyful, happy. See, in one more morning walk. Let me explain this. Just like Prahlad Maharaj was offered benediction, now you take. But he said, where is benediction? I have seen my father. He was so powerful materially that even demigods, they were frightened, threatened. So even if I get such material successes, but you finish it within a second. So why shall I take all these benediction? Please engage me as a servant of your servants. That is my success. So Dr. Patel, perpetual engagement, the service of the Lord. This is called as Vaishnava Vichar, the thinking of a Vaishnava. There are three reasons why demons are afraid of the universal form. Because they are not on the righteous path. And they know that punishment will come eventually. And they are against God. These are the three reasons why they are afraid of the universal form. The last verse for today's session. All of you can recite. Kasmachatena namaran mahatman.
Kasmachatena namarena mahatman.
Gariyashe brahmanopi adikartre.
Gariyase brahmano adikartre.
Ananta devesha jagannivasa.
Ananta devesha jagannivasa.
Tvamaksharam sadasat tat param yat.
Tvamaksharam sadasat tat param yat.
Kasmachatena namarengara mahatman.
Tasmachatenannamarena mahatman
mahatman
Gariyashe brahmanopi adikartre.
gariyase
Gariyase
brahmanopyadikartre
brahmanopyadikartre
Ananta devesha jagannivasa.
anantadevesha jagannivasa
Nivasa
Tvamaksharam sadasat tatparam yat.
amaksharam sadasat tatparam yat.
Tatparamyat.
So here it is mentioned. So, O great one, O Mahatman, who stands above even Brahma? Brahmana api Adikartre, you are the original master, Adikartre. So why should they not offer their homage up to you? Kasmat nate nameran. Gariyashe, glorifying you. O refuge of the universe, Ananta Devesha Jagan Nivasa. You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes. Tvam Aksharam Sadasat Tat Param Yat. You are transcendental to this material manifestation. So here the various words that are used to glorify the Lord. One is Mahatma, which means he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta, that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Lord. Devesha, he is the controller of all demigods and is above them. He is the center of the whole universe. Aksharam, because his material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. Ksharam means which will destroy. Aksharam means which will never destroy. So Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfected living entities and demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him because no one is greater than him. So all perfected personalities offer their respects to Krishna, recognizing him as the Supreme Lord. So in one morning walk, Prabhupada says, Puranas are not manufactured. If I have to offer my obeisances and surrender, why not to Krishna? Why an imitation Krishna? Just like you go to purchase some medicine, the shopkeeper may say, now here is a medicine equal to that medicine and its price is less. No sane man will purchase. Why shall I purchase the imitation for being less price? Give me the original. In the life of Ramakrishna, it is said that at the time of death, he said to his disciples, especially to Vivekananda, that I am the same Rama, I am the same Krishna. And he took it. And he preached that Gadadhar Chatterjee, Ramakrishna, that's all. Then if he is referring to the original Rama and Krishna, so why not take the original Rama and Krishna? Where is the proof? Simply by these words, one can accept, just like he is taking the proof. Arjuna is taking the proof.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
So, at least in India, all the great personalities, saintly persons, sages and acharyas, they have cultivated this spiritual knowledge so nicely and fully, and we are not taking advantage of it. It is not that those shastras and directions are meant for the Indians or for the Hindus or for Brahmins. No, it is meant for everyone. Because Krishna claims, Sarvajoni Shisham Kaunteya Sammavanti Murtaya Dasang Mahaddam Jun Ahava Bija Pradapita. Krishna claims that I am everyone's father. Therefore he is very much anxious to make us peaceful, happy. Just like the father wants to see his son is well situated and happy. Similarly, Krishna also wants to see every one of us happy and well situated. Therefore he comes sometimes. Jada jadahi dharmasya glani bhavati. This is the purpose of Krishna's advent. So those who are servants of Krishna, devotees of Krishna, they should take the mission of Krishna. They should take up the mission of Krishna. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's version. Amar agyay guru hoiya taro ei desh, jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upodesh. Krishna upodesh. Just try to preach what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. That is the duty of every Indian. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Bharat bhumite manusya janma hoilo ja, janma sarthak kori karo paropokar. So, Indians are meant for paropokar. Indians are not made for exploiting others. That is not Indian business. Indian history is all along for paropokar. And formerly, from all parts of the world, used to come to India to learn what is spiritual life. Even Jesus Christ went there. And from China and from other countries, there is history. And we are forgetting our own assets. How much? We are careless. Such a great movement, Krishna consciousness, is going on all over the world. But our Indians are careless. Our government is careless. They do not take. That is our misfortune. But it is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. He says, any Indian, Bharat bhumite manusya janma, if he is human being, he must make his life perfect by taking advantage of this Vedic literature and distribute the knowledge all over the world. That is paropokar. So India can do, they are actually appreciating. The Europeans, American young men, they are appreciating that how great. I get daily dozens of letters how they are benefited by this movement. Actually, that is the fact. It is giving the life for the dead man. So, I shall specially request the Indians, especially His Excellency, kindly cooperate with this movement and try to make successful your life and others' life. That is the mission of Krishna, advent of Krishna. Thank you very much.
So, any questions? So, this is a simple principle what Krishna had given to us. Follow his instructions as through this spiritual master and our life becomes successful. So, we need not independently invent something to understand the mission of the Lord. The parampara system itself will get to know the mission of the Lord and be an instrument in his hand to take glory for, like he gives that glory to us, even though the Lord had done everything, that glory is given to us. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. We'll again meet in the next week and we'll understand further the prayers of Arjuna glorifying Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.